Never had no
Yeah! It's time.
I'm about to risk it all.
It's legacy time, bruh. Pass the food. Pass the plate. It's time to eat. It's time to eat. Hey, you've been eating long enough. It's time for the people that are here to grind. It's time for the old money to move aside. It's time for the people that are ready to work for it, brother. Semper Fidelis, good morning.
Right, good morning.
Hey, brother, I appreciate you coming on. I know that you are still an active duty Marine, an entrepreneur,
Right.
the founder of Vets2Reps, which we're going to talk about veterans real estate professionals. We're going to talk about VA rep. We're going to talk about this town hall. We're going to talk about elite buying home services. Cash is king. What to do if you don't have cash, if you want to be an investor. So, hey, Romeo, straight from Queens, New York, into the Marine Corps.
Morning, Ray.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning.
Okay, so let's, you've done something successful in the Marine Corps. A lot of people, they get in the Marine Corps and that's good enough. You know what I mean? They kind of like, that's where they top out. They decide that they're going to phone it in from there on out, and it's time. They're done. You know what I mean? You enlisted, and then you went commissioned. You became an officer. Everyone's favorite type of officer is that dude that went prior enlisted. So few people pull it off. You did it successfully. What are some of the lessons that you've walked away with from the Marine Corps, my brother?
Well, I joined in '98 and straight out of high school, joined the Marine Corps. Didn't no prior family or anything like that in the service, so I had no idea what I was getting into. Obviously, I chose the Marine Corps. Honestly, I wanted to be a Marine since the 6th grade. My mom still has an essay that I wrote. You know how in school they make you write like an essay, like what do you want to do with your life?
Yep.
So I wanted to be a Marine, and then for 4 years, and then I was going to go FBI. So I joined the Marine Corps. I fell in love, and this month is actually my 20-year mark. So after I was a staff sergeant, about 3 years as a staff sergeant, and you know, you have some officers that it's just different. The officer corps is different, and I was like, hey, I can do that, and I can do it better. And so what I did was I took advantage of the tuition assistance. I did my degree online while I was active, and then once I did that, I put in for enlisted commissioning program. Got accepted, which is pretty cool. I got accepted actually while I was at drill instructor school, and so I got to finish drill instructor school, walk across the stage, get the campaign cover, go on leave, and then report right to OCS. So it was a rough year. I went straight from drill instructor school to OCS, being a candidate again, and then in TBS for 6 months, dealing with brand new second lieutenants, which was rough. Butter
bars, brother, butter bars. Hey, man, everybody's got to start somewhere. You know what I mean? But we got some people tuning in already. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Stacy. Good morning, everybody. So what's the deal, brother? You're a Marine. You're a Mustang. You become commissioned. You're an officer. Like a lot of people would at that point say, "Hey, you've done enough, man. Phone it in." Like what are you doing in your off time? Why start elite home buying services? Why become an investor?
Well, so I've been in and out of real estate since 2011.
Okay.
So when I was stationed here in Pendleton, I was looking to buy, and so I bought a condo here in Temecula. And at the time, my agent at the time, my girl Connie, she was driving a nice car, you know, nice things, and I was like, hey, I said, you know, is real estate a good business? And she said, yeah, if you hustle, it can pay off. So I said, hey, if I get my license, would you hire me? She said yes. So right away, I went ahead and did the education, got my license, and then I hung it with her and started helping Marines buy and sell here locally.
Yeah.
So then the Marine Corps moved me around, right?
Yeah.
I went from here to.
I had a similar experience, by the way. I had a bad agent. I had some agents that were condescending to me and that were rude to me because of my Marine Corps haircut. And then I had a really great agent in Tammy. And I told her, and the thing is when you're successful in real estate, you're going to have people hitting you up like crazy. How do I get my real estate license? How do I do this? How do I do that? And very few people are serious enough to actually go get licensed. So you took the initiative. You actually went and got licensed. I took the initiative. I went and got licensed. I decided to get involved. What was the transition like for you as an active duty Marine into real estate?
It was pretty easy. Connie was really cool, because she didn't tie me to the office. She wasn't like, hey, you got to be here and floor time and everything like that. She said, hey, I understand you're active duty. The comms were good. And so as soon as I got my license, people learned that at work. The referrals just start coming in. So
fellow active duty Navy guy who is also with eXp. Good morning, Steven. And Steven's a great guy. He's with eXp. Romeo's with eXp. He's also an active duty Marine if you're just now tuning in. Hey,
David, so just so you know, Steven is the guy who told me about you. So
he told me a little bit about that. So tell everybody at home where you met Steven and what your conversation was.
Yeah, so I met Steven at Miramar. We were at a Boots to Business entrepreneur course. And so I forgot how that conversation came up, but he learned that I was in real estate. And so we started naturally just talking since he's also an agent. And then he asked me, hey, have you heard of David Serpa? And I said, no, I haven't. He said, yeah, man, he's killing it in Temecula. And, he's like a rock star. And I was like, oh, really? I said, all right, I'm going to look him up. And then so I looked you up on Facebook. I requested you as a friend, you accepted, and then I watched you for a while. And then I hit you up a few times. You ignored me a little bit. I was consistent and persistent, and then we met up for breakfast.
Yeah, brother.
The rest is history.
When you're busy and when you're I'm hoping that the audio is coming in clean because I'm having a little bit of a breakup here with the video. Yeah. When you're as busy as I am and you get as many phone calls as I do, you have to kind of thin it out and see who sticks around and who asks again. And it's just one of those things, man. You have to you got to eat. You got to put food on your own table. But I appreciate you being persistent because now you and Steven and I, we all get to hang out. We get to work together.
Yeah, we do.
So your transition into real estate was easy. I love it. It was easy. Tell me about how easy it was.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty. I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't hard at all. I mean, as a veteran, a lot of the things that all the qualities that you have as a veteran, from motivation, dedication, and just being, taking initiative. It was just a natural fit in real estate. Yeah. Being a Marine is customer service. Overall, and so is the real estate. So it's pretty easy. And then when you genuinely have the, I generally enjoy when people are walking through a house and they're like, hey, we can put the TV there, we can put the sofa there, like just helping people achieve that and get into a house.
It's extraordinarily you get to help people that are similar to you, that are in similar situations that you are in. It's veterans serving veterans and or veterans serving their community, and it's easy. The thing is about easy work is most people are not willing to work hard at it. And so a great question just popped up. She said, Cindy says, how do you find the time to do real estate being an active duty Marine?
Well, it's that part's not easy, right? And then it's all about time management.
Yep.
And so, you got to make sacrifices and, instead of sitting down and watching, binge watching TV shows, then you got to put in the time in real estate, and your family has to support you at the end of the day because it gets annoying when your phone's constantly going off and people are trying to talk to you at home, and you got to find that balance. So
I think
right now it's easier.
And you also have to have a little bit of a support structure. I love that you have a team that you were working with there, and also you're probably setting expectations. Now that you're dealing with financial investors and stuff like that, and people that are working in cash, they understand what to expect because of what you're doing and who you are. And because so many of us, brother, we watch TV for 3 or 4 hours a night. And we're so extraordinarily ineffective with our time that, like, for us as Marines who know how much we can accomplish in a single day, like, I just guarantee you, I'm just more efficient with my time than most people. I don't rest. And like, my resting is sitting down and working on a laptop.
Yeah. I'm the same way.
So tell me about Vets2Reps. Why did you end up deciding to found Vets2Reps, and what is it exactly?
So Vets2Reps is veterans to real estate professionals. So you know, when Marines are getting out, you know, they're like, hey, what am I going to do with my life? It's kind of like getting out of high school. And whether it's 4 years, 8 years, or 20 years, you know, you got to figure out what you're going to do next. And so I sat through TAPS, which is now called TRS, Transition Readiness Seminar. And, you know, it's a federally mandated check in the box, right? So they can say, hey, you know, we made sure that before you got out, we told you about the resources and we told you to wear a suit to the interview and we showed you how to do a resume.
Garbage.
So I was like, all right, cool. Like I never heard of anything about real estate. You know, they got boots to business, helmets to hard hats, troops to teachers, but nothing in the real estate world. And so I thought to myself, hey, you know, I was successful. I know other people who are successful in real estate, and, you know, I know veterans can crush it. And so I said, you know, it'd be awesome to have something where veterans go into real estate. And so I started the nonprofit. And so we're basically, now I'm at the stage where I'm going to start the fundraising, and I basically want to get in the doors, which I tried while I was at TRS at Pendleton. You know, I talked to the instructor, and it was a retirement course, so it's all senior dudes. And I'm like, hey, you know, I just want to give this class. You know, I just want to pitch this class to get feedback.
Yeah.
I got shut down right away, and
yep.
So then he'd send me to his.
That people love bureaucracy. They love the comforting blanket that it is, that everyone has to pay their dues and get up eventually, and eventually you'll make money. The thing is about troops to teachers is that not everyone's going to qualify. I didn't qualify. The thing is about the you know, the hard hats or the, you know, all these different things is there might not be that kind of work. For most of us, getting out and working in real estate is an extraordinarily reasonable thing. I opened 7 escrows in my second month in real estate, making more that month than I did the year prior getting shot at. The bar for entry into real estate is so extraordinarily low, and the caliber of agents that people are used to is so extraordinarily low that when people get service from people who are service-oriented, that don't make excuses, that are going to get it done, you can get a lot done and get a lot of recognition very quickly in real estate. So if you're considering it, look into Vets2Reps, look up that website. Could you give everybody the website, brother? It's
www.vets2reps.org.
Okay, cool. And then we'll link that in the comments here below. And then and you have recently come on board something that I'm a part of, which I'm excited about, which is VA Rep, which is the Veterans Associations of Real Estate Professionals. And I'm hoping that this is going to be something that's going to help push Vets2Reps along. And so what you recently went to the VA Rep National Conference.
I did.
What was that like for you, brother?
Oh man, it was amazing. You know, I'm very skeptical of things. I'm not a very trusting person initially. You know, just where I come from and how I was raised and the bullshit I've been through. So I'm always skeptical. I went there and I never got the, hey, we're trying to sell you something vibe, or hey, yes. You know, it was genuinely people looking to help veterans some way or somehow. Even if they weren't veterans, they have family that were like, everyone's tapped in. And so It was just a great feeling overall. Everybody's very welcoming. We watched them give 2 mortgage-free homes away to veterans. And so it was extraordinary. The only part I didn't like was at the end when they gave everybody awards, because we're brand new. You know, we weren't there, but we said, hey, next year we're gonna crush it and we're gonna take all those awards home.
And so what's really cool is that we're founding a new chapter. We're not even a new chapter yet, guys. VA Rep hasn't even officially been established, which we're hopefully going to do later today. today, actually, we have a conference call with Carla at VA Rep National. She's helping us found this new chapter. It is absolutely going to explode. It's going to be aggressive. We're going to help people understand the VA loan. We're going to help veterans. We're going to help, promote lenders that are great lenders. Sometimes the biggest issue is that people just don't understand that this VA loan is not their parents' VA loan. It is it is not the VA loan people were using in the 90s. And so you get a lot of this old blood that has a prejudice against the VA loan, and it's just an education thing. It's just an education thing. It's not just about preventing veteran homelessness. I want to promote veterans being entrepreneurs. I want to promote veteran home ownership. I want veterans to be landlords, brother. Like, that's where we need to get. When you talk to the people that really understand real estate and the power of real estate, they'll buy 3-4 houses over the course of a 20-year career, get out, and those houses are paying off everything. And it's essentially another retirement. So there's so much potential for people to tap into, and that's what VA Rep is. I'm hoping that if you guys are watching this, you will join VA Rep, whether you're a veteran, you're active duty, or you're a patriot and you want to support veterans. It's not just about getting business. It's about helping people and giving back. So, brings us to our town hall. A lot of people said that this couldn't happen, which is, they say, oh, nonprofits don't play well in the sandbox. Nonprofits don't want to help other people out. Well, we have 7 nonprofits and 2 political candidates that are all being represented by veterans or active duty military that are going to be masterminding on November 2nd, a few days before our election, in Escondido. So can you share a little bit about what we decided to do?
November 3rd.
November 3rd.
Saturday.
I don't even know. I've got so much going on. I'm not even getting it done right.
Saturday.
Good man.
Yeah.
So you went down and you took a look at the Vitality headquarters down there, and you guys talked a little bit about the format. Could you let people know a little bit what to expect at this town hall that we're going to be masterminding at?
Yeah. So basically, I went down there. We took a look at the venue. We have plenty of space. I've already locked on the space down there. The plan is to bring you. You're going to set it off with your motivation, and kind of bring everybody in. And from there, we'll go down every nonprofit, and they'll explain how they're helping veterans or how they're looking to help veterans, and kind of show some stats, some numbers. Hey, here's what we've done. Whether it's Camis to Canines or Vitality or Vets2Reps, everybody's going to give their spiel. Say, hey, this is what we're all about, and this is how we want to help veterans. And we're hoping a lot of people from the community are there, so then we can turn around and say, hey, this is how we as veterans are helping ourselves, and the community. This is how you can help. And then kind of I want to take some, get some feedback so that we can do things that the community is looking for, and we can make those push those initiatives.
That's right. We are tapping in. Like Kalani says, we're not all the whole puzzle, but we can all be a part of the puzzle, and we fit into a part of it. So we've got John Hernandez, who's the VFW president of our local chapter. He's going to be out there. Of course, you are representing Vets2Reps. We've got Christopher Rodriguez, who's running for Oceanside City Council, who's a Marine Corps veteran. He's going to be there. Michael Owens, who's the Vitality president. He helps with veterans in transition. He's also a Marine Corps veteran. Kalani, who now has 289 acres where he's housing veteran that are homeless. Brady Pasola, he works with veteran outreach and networking with Triple B Adventures. Marine Corps veteran. Another Marine Corps veteran, Rudy Gonzalez, fights human trafficking. How fantastic is that? He's going to be there. And then Michael McCracken, who's running for, he's a former Temecula City Council, running again. He's a Navy vet. And then I'm going to be there with VA Rep. So we are, if you want to be there and mastermind with us, if you want to get involved, we would love to have you there. So with all of that good stuff aside, because that's really what we're about. We're about helping people. We're heart-centered people. We're out there leading with our hearts. And so we want to jump into the next part of the show. Golden says, what's up, guys? That is the guy that brought me in. You're a part of a different upline, but we're all helping each other out. Leslie, who's our who was my TC for years, building the homes team. She says, preach for sure. Some of the agents I get paperwork from is so subpar and so bad. I love when a realtor takes their profession seriously and learns their craft. All right. We are past our first 10-minute mark. And so I want to find out why, as somebody that is their own, actually, you want to talk about investing first? Or do you want to jump into eXp?
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
All right, well, let's keep doing it. Let's talk about investing. So what got you into investing?
So I went to the Than Merrill has those seminars, they're all over the TV. Well, Than Merrill has these seminars. It's like, hey, we can teach you how to flip houses just like you see it on TV. And then the couple from HGTV, Tarek and Christina, they had some summit in Seattle. And so I went to these, which was very basic. And they basically wanted you to pay thousands of dollars before they show you the next step.
Yeah.
And so I took the basic information they gave me. I went home and I spent hours on YouTube. And then I got a book called Flip from Nick Ruiz. And so the book outlines everything on how to start by wholesaling. And so I'm not sure if you're familiar with wholesaling or not.
Talk to me about it.
So wholesaling is basically you get a house under contract, right? And this doesn't require being a licensed agent. You get a house under contract, and then you basically turn around and you sell that contract to an investor with it's kind of a finder's fee. It's called an assignment fee attached to it. So what I did was I was stationed in Washington at the time, and up there it's called REAPS, the Real Estate Association of Puget Sound. So I looked up the local real estate association, which was REAPS, and the guy who was running it where I live, his name is Mike Sumsky. And I hit him up a few times via email and stuff, and I didn't no response. So I showed up at the meeting. I said, "Hey, dude, I emailed you and you didn't respond to me." He's like, "Hey, sorry, I was busy." And so I asked to take him to lunch. He said, "Sure, let's do lunch." Went to lunch. He said, "Hey, if you're serious about this, let's do a 100 house challenge." I said, "All right, what's the 100 house challenge?" He's like, "You go out, you find 100 homes, you put them on your list, you contact the owners, and if you get something, let me know, and I'll show up to the property." So I literally printed out maps, like Google Maps. I went out and I drove down every street in Bremerton, Washington, and I started my list. So I started with 97, and I started calling. And my first phone call, first message I left, they called me back, and I didn't answer it because I had no idea what the hell to say. So I let it go to voicemail, and then they're like, "Hey, I got your phone call. Give me a call back." So then I called my buddy Mike. I said, "Hey, I got a phone call. Like, what do I do?" He said, "Call him back." And I was like, "All right, well, I'm not sure what to say." So he kind of walked me through it. So he locked it up so that we go to that house that evening. And so we went to the house. He showed up with me. The guy started at like 134 is what he wanted cash. Mike talked him down like 118, signed the paperwork. And then, so Mike paid me the wholesaling fee for that one, which was my first deal. And then within the next month, I kept crushing it on the list. And the next month I made 19 grand in the first 30 days of doing wholesaling, which to me, honestly, it felt illegal. I was like, this is a lot of money, and so in such little time with no license, but people have been doing it for years and crushing it. And so I actually still work with Mike as a part of my Washington team up there. So Washington Home Solutions is the team I work with in Washington. And so we still do wholesales and flips and so on and so forth. So that's no money out of pocket.
Learn to make money. Like reading Rich Dad Poor Dad was a great read for me.
Yeah, me too.
Intellectually, when you learn to make money, when you learn to find deals and make deals happen, you are no longer a person that has to wait for someone to pay you. You're now somebody that can it feels like printing money. Like you said, I felt like it was illegal. And that's what I keep telling people, like, stop thinking about how do I get to 100 transactions a year and start thinking, how can I systematize this? How can I think bigger than this? And when you level up your brain, when you level up and you start seeing how to make money like this, like you said, it feels illegal. It doesn't feel like it's something that should be able to happen. But the thing is, everyone is benefiting. Everyone's benefiting. But it took somebody saying, hey, I understand that you won 134,000, but I'll give you 118,000 cash.
Yeah.
So like you find the deal, you bring the deal to the person with the money, or you start with the money and you find the deal. It doesn't matter. But like,
yeah, it's win-win situations. The person looking to sell the property wins, the investor wins. It's good all around. And so,
okay, so
you mentioned earlier how veterans should, buy houses and throughout 20 years, which is actually what I did, right? So I have 2 properties here in Temecula, 1 in Washington. And so all of them were rented out throughout the time, right? And so I always tell Marines, hey, like, why are you throwing all your money into base housing, right? I have a fellow captain who just moved in to Pendleton. And so I looked up his BAH and then I shot him a number. I think it was $108,000. And I said, hey, did you get that number? He said, yeah, what is that? I said, that's how much money you're going to leave in base housing. And he was like, oh, damn.
Brother, I, as a Lance Corporal in the Marine Corps, bought a house with nothing out of my pocket that 4 years later made me over $160,000.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that was a big increase. But the thing is, what you're doing is you're like, hey, that's a long-term hold. You have the thing people don't understand. Once you have 3 houses that you're renting out, most of the time that third house or those 3 houses are paying for your 4th residence. And so it's an algorithm that once you figure it out, you're not in a situation to where you're house poor. Your house is now an asset.
Yep.
And that's something you did as an active duty Marine.
Yeah.
How many houses do you own?
So I own 3, 2 here in Temecula, 1 in Washington.
Beautiful. I love it, man. I love seeing successful veterans, but I love seeing successful people who are still in, who are like, dude, I just do this in my spare time and I'm making it $1 gazillion. So you're getting out of the Marine Corps.
I am. One March
1st, and I'm going to be there, brother, with bells on. The retirement party. I'm excited about it. And so why eXp? As an entrepreneur, as a veteran, why did you choose eXp?
Well, for me, eXp was a no-brainer, right? Because I hustle. It's all I do, right? So I don't really need the brick and mortar, like show up, floor time, meeting after meeting. Like I've had meetings for 20 years, and in the Marine Corps, you have a meeting before the meeting, and so I really didn't want to be tied to anything. I wanted to be able to do me and have the support when I need it. And so eXp was just a natural fit. And then on top of that, with Vets2Reps, veterans that become real estate professionals, bring them right on eXp. It just all, and then VA rep, it just feels like it's like the perfect storm,
It is the perfect storm. I tell people all the time, you can't monetize being a good person. You can't monetize every time that you go out and you speak. But now every time that I go out and I speak, I don't go out and I don't talk about eXp. I talk about everything under the sun. I'll talk about team building. I'll talk about how to make over $100,000 in your first year in real estate. At the end, who are you with? Oh, by the way, I'm with eXp. So it gives you an opportunity to be very Promethean with your information, very much be able to pass that information on without feeling like you have to constantly be like, step out in the hallway and give me an extra $2,000 and I'll tell you what's next.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's natural. I'm still learning the intricacies of, there's a lot of stuff to learn in the platforms and stuff. But, one of the first things that I really enjoyed was the work group stuff. So it's like the Facebook, but it's exclusive. And I've posted things on there, just random questions in seconds, you get responses and you get the support you need.
People have this concept of like The Office, like it's this thing that's going to be around forever with like 100 agents that aren't producing and 15 producers that are going to stick around and foot the bill for everybody. And that is not realistic. That's not where the future is going. So the future is going like, I'm sitting at home, you're sitting at home, you've been dialing or you've been working on your other projects or whatever. We've got our 4-hour work week set up to where we're systematized and we're dialed. And it's like, and a new agent comes in who wants to change their stars, who wants to hang out with other entrepreneurs that are hyper-focused. And then he's like, hey, does anybody know the right way to X, Y, and Z? And he, no matter what that question is, whether it's making 400 phone calls a day, whether it's holding an open house, whether it's how to correctly prospect for leads for free, whether it's REO, short sell, like it doesn't matter what it is that they want to do. There's somebody that is going to answer their question in about 2 or 3 minutes.
Yep. And there's groups for everything in eXp. There's all types of groups for any question you need. It's there. So I'm loving the support that's out there, and it's easy. Like you said, technology's is where it's at. Brick and mortar. The only thing that I believe about the brick and mortar is for that camaraderie, right? Which we don't need. We don't need a building and a space to pay rent at. Like we can meet anywhere and do that.
That's right. I did it this morning at Starbucks. It wasn't.
And we're doing it at 1 o'clock.
And we're doing it at 1 o'clock today. So like it's one of those things. Like when you find out what the opportunity is with RevShare, and you find out how much money you could be making passively, you start looking at the fact that, oh, well, now I'm only paying a $16,000 cap. And now I don't have to pay a broker indefinitely for everything. And now I have all these. So like you start looking at these opportunities. Well, now that pays for my office. I don't have to think about my office anymore because I know in the first 90 days of the XP, my goal is to have that covered in RevShare. So like you start looking at it as alternate forms of revenue. Right. I did not join eXp to stop practicing real estate forever. I'm still going to be doing the business that comes in because real estate is a wealth creating opportunity. But for me, the RevShare is huge.
Yep, I agree. It's not just one source of income, and so it's different ways to produce cash flow. And it's all about cash flow at the end of the day.
There it is. I love it. Talk to me about, like, is it better to have $100,000 that you had to work 45 hours a week for, or is it better to have $40,000 that you had to work 2 hours a week for? So when you start looking at that kind of stuff, that's cash flow.
Yeah, it's all about cash flow. Whether it's in investing or through regular. I think I lost you there.
No, you're good.
You back? Okay. Yeah, my screen went black. Yeah, so whether it's through investing or revenue share, it's all about cash flow at the end of the day. Yeah. And I think people are going to realize that more and more. Some people are going to wait. They're going to wait a little longer to jump on the train. But for me, it was easy.
Some people will wait, brother. So that's what people do. They wait. This is everybody. This is the entire industry all the time. They wait and they look around at everybody else like, who's going to go first? Who's going to? And then when you go, I'll go. But the thing is like, it's the people, it's the early adopters that are going to see the lion's share of this shift. And right now we're in October, November, December. That's when everybody switches brokerages. So the people that wait for January, yeah, they'll see the benefit. They're just not going to see as much as everybody else.
Right.
So I understood revenue share for the first time about 3 weeks ago. And then I sent out 30 recruiting or attraction letters to agents that I want to work with like 2 days later. I was like, I understand it now. It makes sense to me financially. It is an algorithm. Once you sit down and you actually watch that boring 26-minute video, or you sit down and you have a conversation with a guy like Romeo who understands cash flow, or you sit down with a guy like me, the people that understand the REO type shifts, the opportunities that I'm going to grind, it's legacy time. I'm going to grind for 90 days like crazy. I'm going to grind for the next year way harder than I did for the last 2 because I see the opportunity.
Yep, it'll pay off.
Yes, my brother. So what's next for you?
Did you get a lot of hate?
The Marine Corps.
What's that?
What's next for you?
Well, then I have the opportunity to do 100% real estate, you know, and so
Woo!
I'm not tied. I'm not tied to driving all the way to 29 Palms on a daily basis.
It's gonna be dangerous, bro.
Yeah, 100%. So my plan is to kill it through every venue that I have, right? Through traditional real estate, through elite home buying services, and Vets2Reps and VA rep. So I'm gonna keep myself really busy and really engaged.
The people that I'm talking to, they're looking at eXp like an opportunity for additional income, not to replace their income. Because
Right.
for most of us, we understand, like you said, I have to have multiple forms of income coming in. Like, I don't want to be transactional forever. I don't want to be involved in the rat race forever. So unless you have financial freedom, you're not free. If you're on payroll somewhere, you're really not free unless you could quit your job tomorrow, you're not really free. And so you have to set yourselves up in times of shift, in times of panic, in times where everyone's like, oh, what's going on? Fortune favors the bold.
Yep, I agree with that 100%.
So the market's shifting. You and I both know that, right?
Right.
But really, all that's happening with the market is it's slowing down just a little bit, and people are freaking out. I think it's a good thing. I think that, but tell me what you think that the market's doing, and then we'll talk about it.
Well, I mean, to me, whether you follow, you know, the market where it's going or not, as long as you are able to adapt and shift, and to me, so that's kind of where I'm at. I don't, you know, I hear conversations, hey, the bubble, it's coming, you know, what are we gonna do? And I'm just like, hey, like, you know, we adapt and overcome. It doesn't matter, you know, what it is. And so as long as you're diversified, right, and you don't have all your eggs in one basket, and you're able to do things for sellers, buyers, it doesn't matter, you know, what type of market it is, as long as you're able to adjust. And so that's
right.
that's kind of where my head's at.
So freaked out when I got introduced to Club Wealth. And my buddy Mike Bjorkman, who's now at the XP, he tells me, he says, Serpa, pray for a down market. He goes, all the money that you're making right now, you'll make so much more in a down market because the grind changes, the shift changes, and everybody else just starts freaking out. So good agents are going to make money no matter what the market is doing. The grind just changes. It just shifts. Yep. I personally see us having a good market for the next couple of years at least, even if the rates go up. When you look around and you see people that are spending money, that have a lot more money than Romeo and have a lot more money than Serpa, you see a lot of people developing. The economy looks good. It looks good for the next couple of years at least. There's going to be a lot of money changing hands. And then if it goes bad, I am surrounded by people that have recession-proof thought. It doesn't matter if it's REO, if it's short sell, it doesn't matter if it's foreclosures or fix and flips. You have to be around the people that know how to make money in every market.
Yep. And it's there, right? The inventory is there regardless. Like it's not it's not like you have to create a new app or a new idea, or like the inventory is there. You just have to take that inventory and do things with it.
So you said one of my favorite things that I've heard on this show. You said that you went to this investing thing, and then you just jumped onto YouTube. And
I spent hours and hours and hours. I would lay in bed and like I'm on my phone just watching YouTube. My wife's like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Hey, there's like this. I think I can do this wholesaling stuff."
Yes.
And until I got my first check, she didn't believe in it. And then once I got my first check, she was like, "Okay, I get it."
And then you got several more checks that month. The thing is in YouTube, like it's that scene from Good Will Hunting when he says, "How about them apples?" I learned everything that I needed to learn from $1.87 in late fees at my local library. Only now you don't even have to go to the library. You don't even you don't have to know how to read. All you have to do is put your topic of interest into YouTube, sift through the garbage, because there are people that are monetizing YouTube for views. And so they're going to put out all the information that they can put out there for free because they want to create that revenue stream for them through YouTube. So you could get a better education without getting into six figures of debt on YouTube, then I believe that you could get in most universities in America.
Yeah, I agree. It's 100% free. You can't beat free.
Yeah. I love it, brother. I love that you just like, so I took an idea and then I turned it into money. And then I got paid one check and then I got paid 6 more. It's just, it's an algorithm thing. So the market's shifting a little bit. It's slowing down. The onesie twosie agents are leaving. They're getting into other things. The Eagles are fine. The turkeys are leaving. That's fine. We're going to be okay. So what is your cut for the market change?
I don't really have anything.
Okay.
I don't know.
I love it, brother.
To me, like I adjust as it happens, right? So I guess it's kind of reactionary, to an extent, but I guess I'm so diversified that I really don't stress it. You know what I mean? Like I don't worry about I guess I don't worry about small stuff. If I can't do traditional real estate because whatever's happening, then I'll do elite home buying services.
Yeah.
Because then that means there's distressed sellers out there, right? And then you come in with cash investors and make things happen. So I don't know. I hope that answers that question.
I've had one other person tell me, I'm not cutting, I'm spending more. But I love what you said. You said, I'm so diversified, I don't even have to worry about cutting at this point. It's just a matter of what I'm going to be working on currently and giving the lion's share of my energy based on what the market is currently doing that day.
Yeah.
Or during that time.
There's no real, people try to figure out, what's going to happen in the future. And like, I get all that. You can spend hours on, online reading articles that are both sides, you know what I mean? So I don't waste my time getting like sucked into that. And so you just make shit happen.
Dude, I love it. I love it. Okay. So I would ask you what your keep is, but it sounds like, like you said, you're so diversified that it doesn't really matter. But do you have a keep? Do you have something that you've added recently?
No, I do not.
Like, hey man, when you're, like you said, when you're diversified, you're less reactionary all the time to what the market is doing. You're able to kind of like do what you need to do, what you want to do.
Yeah, and that's honestly, that's the best feeling right there. When I don't have to do something, I'm doing it because I want to. I think it makes it easier for the people I work with and the people I work for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not tied to something. I'm not chasing something. I'm just making things happen. If that makes sense.
How are you still married?
Because my wife's awesome. She's also a vet. She did 9 years in the Marine Corps before she got out.
Woo! I love it. Like,
Yeah.
You're like, she's also a vet. She's also an entrepreneur. She gets it. I don't have to explain anything to her. And what you get, and I've met your wife a couple of times now, what you get when you have two people that are just like on fire, that understand each other, it's a cool synergy to watch happen, and it's a good thing to watch in place. So good on you, brother. So this is going to be probably my favorite part of the show because you and I are both very well-read people. What's your book recommendation, my brother?
I would say this one right here. Hold on.
Be Obsessed or Be Average. Grant Cardone.
Yeah.
Why Cardone, bro?
Have you ever heard of the Millionaire booklet? Have you heard the audio on that?
No.
Okay, I gotta send it to you. This dude's energy is it's crazy. And so he went from being a struggling car salesman, to training himself and then training other car salesmen and then building, his sales stuff to the point where he just bought himself a jet recently.
Hey.
So So to go from nothing to something, that type of environment and that energy that he breeds off, he's just no excuses is his thing, right? So, you're like, hey, I made 100 phone calls, and I got nothing. Well, Grant Cardone, he 10x's everything, instead of 100, you 10x it. And so his attitude and his drive is contagious.
You cannot fail in real estate if you work hard.
Yep.
If you are in real estate and you are failing, you either don't know what you're doing or you're lazy. I really don't see anything other than that. I broke it all down. I wrote 587 pages on real estate. I outlined when to quit because some people don't have what it takes to be successful. Other people, the people that I'm talking to, like one person that I talked to this morning, they're going to be successful no matter what. You know what I mean? Like they just have it in them. They have the grit. They have the gumption. You know what I mean? They have the ability, right? So I'm like, I don't want to go around recruiting 100 agents. I want to work with 20 people that are badass enough to bring on 20 people because they understand entrepreneurship. I don't want to talk to losers. I make it a habit of not talking to losers. If you want to talk to me, a lot of times it's going to take a minute to get to me because my phone rings. I like networking with awesome people. Period. Yep. You stick around long enough like freaking Steve did or like you did, we'll end up rocking and rolling together. We'll end up freaking talking or whatnot, but you've got to freaking grind. You've got to freaking show that you belong at the table. And you're one of those dudes, brother. You grind. I love it about you. The first time that we met, I saw it in you. You've got this freaking, when people lock eyes with me, and they just are like I see it, and it's just like passion and it's work. And like you talked to me about Vets2Reps. You came to me and you said, I want to help other people. And when people come to me and they say, I want to help me, how can you help me? How can you help me? I say, go fly a freaking kite. But it took a while. But when I read your proposal for Vets2Reps, I said, this is one of the best things I've ever seen. I need to pass it on to everybody that I possibly can. Can you post the video link below for Vets2Reps, by the way, later on? You don't have to do it right now. So your recommendation is Cardone.
Yep. Okay. Be obsessed or be average.
Be obsessed or be average. Okay. I'm going to tell you guys really quick. I set aside a big chunk of books because I know that we're going to have veterans watching this. And so I set aside a starter pack for veterans right before we got started. Here's one of them. The Art of War. You read it, my brother?
I have. I sure have.
Whether you read The Art of War or you work for somebody who reads The Art of War, understanding that everything in life is war, it's all a battlefield. The Marines didn't take Fallujah because they're the most peaceful people on planet Earth. How to win friends and influence people. What are the reasons? This is like my Bible. This is my favorite. Brother, when you came to me and you said, I want to talk about Vets2Reps, that's when I was like, this guy's worth $1 million. I absolutely want to talk to this guy because he's out there helping people. Thanks. Understanding power.
Yes.
Understanding history. Book. You read this one?
Yep. Great book. There's
really
another
good, right?
There's another version too.
Oh, give it to me. 50 Cent, bruh. Have you read it?
I have. So I've read both versions. Great books.
Power. It's important, man. Like the thing is like, as somebody who has Asperger's, somebody that's on the spectrum, I don't understand the people's motivations or the way that they're being manipulative or crappy until I started, like really looking at life like it's Shakespeare and like it's power and like it's war. And then I started understanding that people are very manipulative. But hey, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, if you want a basic education in finances, get started. Read Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Great book.
And then one of my favorites, There's No Reason to Wait to Be Rich. Join the New Rich. Change Your Thinking. Tim Ferriss. You have enough awkward conversations. Your success will be defined by the number of awkward conversations you're willing to have.
It's true.
I imagine when you started on that 100 house challenge that you probably had a lot of awkward conversations.
Yeah, you know, one of the things real estate people in general don't like doing is door knocking, right?
Yep.
And so I walk like 3 blocks. Like every house I stopped in front of, I was like, all right, this is it. I'm going to knock on this house right here. And then I didn't, you know, I couldn't find any. I'm like, all right, let me keep walking and build up this courage. And I walked probably like 4 blocks before I knocked on the first door. And it just so happened the first door that I knocked on was a lead.
Dude, it's wild. It's like the universe like aligning and saying, here you go. For me, it was like the 3rd expired that I door knocked. I ended up like, it led to like 4 or 5 transactions in my 2nd month in real estate. Like, you just have to be willing to talk to people. The deals are out there.
Just got to do it.
I love you, brother. Hey, I want to give you the final word. Talk to your freaking vets, your entrepreneurs, brother. Talk to them about entrepreneurship. Tell them about this freaking road that you're going on and let them know how they need to contact you.
Well, anybody, it doesn't even matter if you're getting out of the service, no matter what branch, no matter what, you know, what state you're in. If you're on your way out of the military, or if you're a veteran and you want to get into real estate, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a transitioning veteran. Vets2Reps is here to help. And so I've actually partnered with Real Estate Express. And so for me to put people through, right, the online education, the pre-licensing, they're going to give me my own little promo code, my little Vets2Reps promo code. So I'll get 50% off when I put people through. And then when I do the, so for people who already are licensed and they want to do their contingent, if they want to use Real Estate Express, I also have promo codes for that, which they'll get a percentage off, and then on top of that, I'll get a revenue share. I'll get a part of that from the company itself donated to Vets2Reps, so that we can continue to help other veterans. So on the Vets2Reps website, if you click on the resources, I got both links there for pre-licensing and for continuing education. So
that's awesome.
I'm trying to partner with as many people as I can.
And I just tell them first Tuesday. But now you've got a real place to point people. That's fantastic, brother.
Yeah. So I'm just looking forward to, you know, my idea, like, so eXp, right? I had this idea of building this network, and then I learned it was already there. So how easy is that?
Dude, I bought so many domains. I bought your national network, your community network, and I bought all these different domains. And they're gonna sell, and I'm gonna end up making more money than I bought them for. But like, I wanted to build a real estate company with national connected minds, supported by tech, and it was already there.
Yeah.
Like, it's already there. I don't have to do anything. Why swim upstream? It's there. Welcome.
Yeah. So just imagine if we can get Vets2Reps into every transitioning readiness seminar throughout the country, right? When you're sitting there and they're talking to you about boots to business, right? And they mention Vets2Reps, and now we have veterans throughout the country who are real estate professionals. Like, we get a foothold, and then we kill it nationally. You know what I mean?
And that's the goal.
That is the goal.
So like, when we've talked about this a couple of times, and one of the reasons why I'm so obsessed with Vets2Reps is it will streamline entrepreneurship for veterans when they're getting out, which means that veterans are not going to be blowing their freaking brains out. You know what I mean? Yeah. You get out and you can provide for your family regardless of whether or not your leg works properly or whether or not you have back pain. Like, any idiot can make money in real estate, but veterans are specifically and specially designed to get after this. And I think that when we get this in a TRS, win on a national level, and we have real estate agents in every state in this where there's a military base going in and teaching for an hour and saying, oh, by the way, if you sign up with eXp, I'm going to tap you into a huge network of other military veterans, and they're going to tell you how they're making all this money. Because then people can either get out and they can practice real estate, or could you imagine if you were a Marine Corps recruiter and all you had to do was make phone calls?
Yeah.
I'm going to be sending everybody that I can to Vets2Reps. I want to network with every veteran that I possibly can, because when we make veterans entrepreneurs, that's when we change this country. That's when we change this state. That's when the power shift happens.
Oh yeah.
Appreciate you, brother. Anything else for me and for the audience?
No, just if you're local, watch out for VA Rep, Temecula chapter. We're getting together at 1 today, and then come out November 3rd and support our town hall meeting with all the nonprofits. Bring your ideas, the things you want to see. Like I'm just excited. I'm just excited to meet people, network, and see how we can help.
Brother, thank you for coming on this show. I'm going to recap here for a second and tell everybody about this. You told me that real estate was easy. I felt like it was illegal. When you got into wholesaling, you made over $19,000 in your first month wholesaling. You took a 100-day challenge. You are an avid learner like I am. You are YouTube educated, and you also got your degree and went and became a Mustang while you were active duty in the Marine Corps. So active duty officer, transitioning into full-time real estate. You run Elite Buying Home Services, which helps people sell their homes for cash. And you work with people who are buying in cash. You are a landlord. You own 3 houses as an active duty Marine. You believe in hustling and in grinding and in networking. You knocked on my door just like Steven did. You hung around long enough, and now we are both tapped into the same national network. If you want to join Romeo, if you want to join me, call this guy or call me or call Steven. We want to help you. I want to create more successful veteran entrepreneurs than anyone else out there. Romeo is passionate about it too. We want to set you up. Let's shift the power here. Let's freaking rock and roll. Come out with us on November 3rd. 2 local politicians, 7 nonprofits. Let's change Southern California and make it an example for the rest of this country to follow suit.
Hell yeah.
Love you, brother. Semper Fidelis, my friend. Have a freaking excellent day.
Bro.
Happy Monday.
You too. See you at work later.
Hey, I'll see you for lunch. See you, brother.